Hello everyone. Today we are going to be restoring, at least attempting to restore, the plastic trim on my 1987 BMW 325 IS. As you can see in the front, I've kind of already done so, and it turned out pretty well, I would say. The body obviously needs paint work, but as far as the trim goes, it's not too bad. And today I'm going to be showing you how I did that. It's actually a lot simpler than you think. So as you can see, this is the rear trim area, and it's pretty bad. Especially in the rear, you can see this is not wet. It's just really faded and just looks terrible. And so I've already started on this side. I forgot to start filming, but basically what you need is Scotch, very fine pad, just like this, and some Scotch-Brite, and it's type A, very fine, and just like a little thing of water, and it gets black over time because you're literally scraping the old plastic and you're just dunking it in here to wash. Okay, so I highly recommend a little stool or a chair or something you can sit on, because you're going to be in this position for quite some time, so it's going to get tiring to sit or whatever. Anyways, you're going to cut a strip off that you're comfortable with. This is about maybe 7 inches long and about 5 inches wide, and it just wants to, cut it so it's comfortable in your hand, just like this, so it can also conform to the trim, just like so. I recommend getting like a bottle of water or something. This is just from the sink, and you're going to want to keep refilling this, because when you dunk your Scotch-Brite in here, you're going to go like this and it's going to take out some water. But basically what you do is you start from the top, because the runny gross water is going to go down anyway, so you might as well start from the top. And you see how here I haven't hit it yet perfectly, so pretty much at first it looks like that, and after scrubbing for about maybe about 5 minutes, it starts to get shiny just like this. And we are going to paint it, but this is just a prep before the actual paint, just to make sure the surface is smooth and you've gotten out all the imperfections like this. So you can probably hear that versus right here, so you can't hear anything anymore. So like I said, you just get this, soak it in some water, and just go like this. And as far as I know, there's no real secret to the way you do it. You just kind of apply medium pressure, not too heavy, because if you apply too heavy, it's just gonna, it just takes too much work. Just kind of go like this, then keep dunking it in the water, go back, just do this. So you're gonna do that for the whole section. I recommend doing pieces at a time, just so that it comes out uniform, because if you try to do the whole thing, you might not hit all the spots. But basically, after about 5 minutes or so, it's gonna start looking like this. Already looks a lot better. So like I said, you just want to do the whole thing around the car, and then we're going to talk about the paint. Okay, and here's the last step. Once you're satisfied with your work, and you see how it's still white, but it's like very smooth to the touch, you can tell this is ready for painting. The last step is to rinse it off with some clean water. I guess you could probably use this water, but it's pretty dirty, and you don't want that dirty water drying on here right before the paint. So as you can see on this side too, there's a few rough spots left, and this isn't grime, this is just the plastic itself. I'm not sure if that's because of the sun or why, but you can see in the back too. And then in some areas, most of it came out, like right here. But this is about 45 minutes, and oh, and I did this too, and this came out perfect. This is really smooth. But it's just up to you, it depends how far you want to go with it. And one thing I forgot to mention is, this is obviously with the plastic still on the car. Some of you might think it might be better to take them off, but in the front of the car, I took them off. And because they're so old and flimsy, one of them actually broke a little bit, so I had to glue it from the inside. So I guess if you're really careful, you could take them off, but for the rear, I'm just going to leave them on and see the way it turns out. And if you're not happy, it's just paint, so you can always just take it right off. The next step, of course, is painting, and for mine, I'm going to be using Trim Black. This is by the brand SEM 39143. So I bought this at Industrial Finishes, but I checked online and you can buy it there too. I believe it was on Amazon. So it's like $6, $7 a can, which is probably a little bit more than average, but the color is actually really accurate. Like if you look in the front, you would not be able to tell that's painted. it looks really accurate to OEM color. So that's why I'm using this one, but obviously it's up to you. Once the trim is pretty much dry, which it's almost dry in my case, the next step is obviously masking, so I'm going to be doing that now. I'm just speaking from experience here because this applies to myself too, but obviously you've heard this, but don't rush the masking. You've already saved a bunch of time by not removing the plastic, so at least take time to properly mask everything, get in all the little nooks and crannies, and it's just going to turn out a lot better, and you're going to be happy you took the time. Oh, and to remove these side markers, you just need a flathead screwdriver. Pop it in, just like this. And then it comes right out, and then you just unplug it. Okay, sorry, it's getting pretty dark outside, but anyway, first layer is done. First coat, I mean. You don't want to go too heavy on it. Just kind of a light coat. Make sure you get everything. Ooh, also, I forgot to mention this, but it's important to mask this part under too, because there's a little bit of chrome showing, and if you don't mask it, that's gonna be, it's gonna look like you didn't do a good job. But so far it looks pretty good. Okay, so here is the finished product, and the car is pretty filthy right now, so sorry about that. I still have to give it a good wash, but here's the trim all done. As you can see, it came out pretty good. It looks really close to factory color. You can't really notice that it's painted, it just looks well maintained. So this whole project took about an hour and a half, and I think it's well worth the time because it's just gonna make the car look just so much better. And it's under $20, so there's almost nothing to lose. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, maybe consider giving it a thumbs up.